What's up, everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with another review, and today we're checking out the Orb Composer, which is an artificial intelligence / machine learning program that creates music for you, and it gets really intense. You can go as far down the rabbit hole as you want. It's not really entry-level stuff. That's why I haven't had the best results when using it. I have seen demos and other videos where this thing has been, blew my mind, and I was like, yeah, let me get my hands on it. And now that I have it, I've been taken aback by how intense it is. So in this video, I'm going to show you a basic intro to it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why maybe I haven't been able to get the best results. And if you're a music composer already, this might be a great aid for your music production. So when you launch the program, this is what you see. And you can choose a music template. Or you can just hit cancel and you'll get a blank start. I'm going to go ahead and just choose electro, okay? Hit apply. And you'll see that it's loaded up some instruments down here. Now, as of this recording, the bass drum, acoustic snare, hi-hat, and cymbals don't work. When I start creating things or letting the algorithm do its thing, they're not going to load anything down here. So you can actually come in and just delete those to, so they're not taking up any space or being distraction there. And the first thing you want to do is choose a block over here. And this is going to tell the artificial intelligence behind the scenes what you want it to be. So what I'm going to do is just choose a theme right now. I'm going to drag it and drop it in here. Okay, so you can go intro, theme, end if you want. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to stick with theme. We can choose our BPM up here. We can choose the key, our time signature, really anything we want. But next thing we want to do is come down here and choose the bar items. So we can go standard, question, and then an answer to the question and things of this nature. Let's just go ahead and choose question, answer to the question, another question, answer to the question. Next, we want to come up and choose our feel, so we can actually come in and say cinematic or standard and things like that. I'm just going to scroll down. And these are just going to be kind of the chord progressions. So let's do fantastical. Click and drag that on there, and you'll see that it's updated. Then we're going to come down here, and again, we can choose different chords if we wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now. And then we can choose instruments. So if I wanted to add a piano to this project, I just click and drag it right there if I wanted to. Next thing we got to do is just hit randomize. We've got the randomize instruments and notes for all blocks, create chords for all blocks, create notes for all blocks, or create everything for all blocks. So this is a good place to start. I'm going to click that, and here we go. So the next thing we need to do is link this up with Ableton Live. So I've got Ableton Live loaded right here. If you jump in, when you get the Orb Composer, you get all of these different MIDI channels, or all of these different MIDI inputs, and then you get selected different channels inside of here. So I already have this loaded up with some instruments. If I jump back into Orb Composer for a second, I've got lead, synth pad, and bass electro right here. So inside of here, I've got a grand piano, a lead, a pad, and a bass. So let's just go ahead and play this and see what happens. So that's pretty impressive. That's a solid piece of music that I just hit one button to create. So if we want to go ahead and just switch it up, click it again. That's another solid piece of music that I only had to click one button to create. So as I was saying in the beginning, it doesn't stop there. The amount of control you have over each one of these instruments, the notes behind it, and everything is really incredible. If I come down here for this lead part, for example, and double click it, I can now choose the roll. Right now it's on melody, but I have all of these other options. The dynamics, like this is something I was talking about before. I'm not really sure what all of this means. If you're an actual music composer, then you will. I'm just going to leave it on F. That's what the artificial intelligence told me it should be, so that's where we're going to leave it. But you do have these other options here if you need them. We've got rhythm, momentum, and complexity, very low for this particular one. We do have controls for these right here, and this will be global, but we do have them right down here, which will be per instrument basis. We've got the register, so if it's a little bit too high for me, I can just click medium and hit apply. And now if I play that back at the beginning, you'll see that it's changed the register of that instrument. Let's jump back in here and just finish this out. We've got polyphony, and we've got different chord notes. I don't have anything set up right now, but those are the options you have per instrument, okay? We can also come in and randomize just the notes and the instruments. Really a lot of control, and once you start building out an entire track with an entire orchestra, you can imagine how incredible this is going to be. Now, this is where I kind of ran into my first problem. If you load an orchestra, it literally gives you an entire orchestra full of instruments, which means you need to jump into Ableton Live and sync up those instrument channels with the actual instrument type. So if you've got horns that are spiccato, legato, regular, long. You need to go into Ableton Live and literally load each one of those instruments into its own channel. So when that part comes up through the artificial intelligence, it's ready to be played. So that's a little bit tedious in my opinion. And you need to come in and it says Orb 2 channel 1. You need to jump into Ableton Live. If I come in here, you can see that I had to go to Orb 1, channel 1, Orb 2, channel 1, and then load up whatever instrument it told me was there. You don't have the ability to change that right now. You don't have the ability to customize that. I'm told that's going to be coming down in the pipeline, but you don't have that at the moment. Let me jump back into here. But one thing that is really cool is how awesome this is when you try to change it up. So right now, I'm on what? Fantastical. Let's just change it to dramatic. Listen to how it changes. It really sounds dramatic. All right, so that's dramatic. Let's check out romantic. Come back to the beginning. I mean, it sounds romantic. And if you come into like mystery, for example. Like it really does change the feel to whatever the word here is, and it's very impressive that it does that. Just go ahead and randomize everything a couple more times. So I can change the intensity by just choosing these sliders. This is going to change the notes and how they're played in the background. I've changed the momentum. And let's play that now. So that's very impressive. So if I came in here and put an end now, we can come in and choose how many bars the end is going to be. Let's say 4 bars, and let's just do question and an answer. And now that's 4 bars long. And now this is going to go from here to there. And these are global, so these will change everything, or we have those controls per theme. So we can come in here and randomize just the ending parts, for example. So let's listen to this whole thing now and see what happens. Let's kind of bring down the momentum. Bring down the intensity as the end nears, and let's see what this sounds like start to finish. Let's just go ahead and hit randomize one more time. My hopes for this program are incredibly high. I'm just giving you a taste of what it's capable of. Let me just go ahead and load up. Oh, another thing too is I had a set saved, and every time I tried to load the set, it didn't load. So this is why I had to start completely from scratch, because I had a set saved and it wouldn't load. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard these changes. And watch what happens when I load up orchestral. Look at how many instruments are on here. Okay, so that's a lot of instruments. So what you would need to do if you want to make an orchestral set is go into Ableton Live and load up Piccolo. Okay, so let's just do this. I'm going to just show you real quick. Come in. This is fine. Let's just say, let's just choose something here. Space. Okay, and I'm going to double click here, which is going to load it up. So this says legato right here. So these are all legato here, so this isn't really going to change anything. But if I keep tweaking stuff, I should get some other options. So like for flute or something. So it's actually not doing it for me right now. But if I come in to here, sometimes it will go long, then legato, staccato, and then it will go legato. So if you look here, each one of these types of ways to play this instrument has its own MIDI input and channel. So I've got Orb 6 channel 8, Orb 6 channel 9, Orb 6 channel 7. That means I need to have 3 separate channels inside of Ableton Live corresponding to these 3 types of ways to play this instrument. So it's not just this many instruments that you need. It's you need to have them and each style that you can play them. So I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different instruments loaded inside of Ableton Live, ready to play if the artificial intelligence says, you know, this is what should be played here. You can lock the articulation, but then you're kind of limiting yourself to what the artificial intelligence can do, which I feel like I'm not sure how to remedy that issue, but it for me, while I was playing around with this program, was an issue. But like I said, if you do take the time and your computer can handle loading up 6 articulations for your flute, you know, if I come into trumpets, for example, and come in, you'd have to load up another 5 articulations for your trumpets. If you do take that time and you do come in and you do, you know, build out an entire song using these blocks, and then, you know, choose cinematic, for example, you will get some incredible results, but it's just a big barrier to get there. As I said, I did have something saved, which was pretty sweet in my opinion, but it just won't load. I can't get it to open up the project. So I wanted to get this video done because they sent me the copy of the program and said, you know, we want you to do a review. I am incredibly excited to see where they go in the future and if they can simplify or make things easier for users like me, because the results are quite impressive. But for right now, I'm not sure how often I'm going to come into the program and mess around, just because of how tedious it is and how much work I'm going to have to do. And then when some of the times the project doesn't even open after I save, it's like we'll have lost all that work. You can record the MIDI right into your Ableton Live, but it's like, well, then I'm missing the, you know, randomize function and changing, you know, I'm going to miss using the artificial intelligence to tweak what I already have. So an incredible start to what I believe is going to be an incredible program. It's called the Orb Composer. Again, links in the video description. I'm Joshua Casper here, and I'll see you in the next video.